Allison says, prayer request. Please pray for all the LGBTQ who are celebrating Pride. May those who are able to do so know that others are supporting them. And may we see acceptance become the norm. I want to share with you something. And it's in relation to what Allison has just asked us to pray for. But it's beyond that as well. So in San Diego today, a bunch of clergy, was it today, yesterday? A bunch of clergy showed up at immigration court to serve as, what the Associated Press says, to serve as witnesses to what goes down as some cases arising from the Trump administration's migration crackdown are heard. One of the priests, a Jesuit priest, his name is Reverend Scott Santarosa, Scott Santarosa. He was asked why they were there, and said the purpose of their visitation to the court was more than anything just to provide some sense of presence. They weren't there to make ICE stop them. They weren't there to make the judge do this or the courts do that. They were just there to say, hey, we're here. And they wanted the courts to see it. They wanted immigration to see it. They wanted the people who were in immigration court to see it. He continues, people are longing for people of faith to walk with vulnerable migrants. Our goal is not trying to prevent arrests, but we can witness it. Again, sometimes just being there. Now, what Allison in her prayer is talking about is making sure that people are seen, making sure that we are seen as someone, as a group, as people that can be counted on. Reverend Santa Rosa here, that's what he's saying. We go to the courts because we want these vulnerable migrants to see us present for them. We want them to know we love them. We want them to know that we support them. We want them to know that we care about them. We want them to know that they matter to us. We want them to know. We want them to know that we love them. Oftentimes in the world, that's what the marginalized people of our community need. Charlie and I were driving through the city today, and we stopped at a red light. And at this particular red light, there was a gentleman. Asking people in cars for a little help. And when he came to us, Charlie said, "Do we have any gift cards?" Because normally we keep a stack of gift cards in the console of the van. And I said, "No, we're all out," because we had given them away a couple of days ago. And so when the gentleman walked past, he said, "Hey, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Stay hydrated." And Charlie, as the guy walked past, Charlie says, I remember hearing that sometimes those guys, they really just need to hear somebody say hello to them. And I thought, oh, well, it's true, right? That's a big deal. Showing that we are beside people, showing that we are present to them, showing that we care about them, showing up. It matters. And it matters more than just to one particular group or another. We have a sign on our church. When I'll release this as a video, and I'll put it right there. All right there. I'll put it up right there. Anyhow, we have a sign on our church, and it says, "All are welcomed here." Everyone is welcomed here. Everyone belongs here. Something like that. Everyone belongs here, and it's got different colored hands, and it's got a rainbow, and it's nice, and I think it's quite eye popping. I found out through a buddy of mine that some of the junior high kids who walk past our church to get to school, they've taken to calling us the gay church. St. Margaret of Scotland, to them, is known as the gay church. Now, I had a couple of people come up to me when they found that out and said, well, is it okay that we're known as the gay church? And I said, well, sure, yeah, it's wonderful, it's perfect. Well, but what about everybody else? And I said, listen, if the LGBTQ plus community knows that we are welcoming and inclusive, then all of the other communities within our community knows that we are inviting, inclusive, and welcoming, that we're safe. If you can show yourself as someone that is safe for the marginalized, all of the marginalized will see you as someone who is safe. If your organization proves itself to be a group that is safe for the marginalized, for one segment of the marginalized population, the others will see you in that same. They'll give you that credit. Until you don't deserve it, they will give you that credit. They'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So, like Reverend Santa Rosa, he says here, people are longing for people of faith to walk with the vulnerable migrants. People are longing for people of faith to walk with the vulnerable. And if we choose to walk with migrants, others will see that we are safe. And if we choose to walk with others, other vulnerable groups, other groups that are on the margin, people who are living on the edges of our society will come to see us that way. And that is exactly who we're supposed to be. I mean, from the earliest days of the church, people would come to the community of believers for assistance. They would come to the community of believers to get a little help. They would come to the community of believers for help with food and for help with clothes and for help with, whatever kind of help they needed. The vulnerable, the marginalized of the community came to the church. It's why the order of deacons was created. Right? There were so many people coming to the church for assistance that the apostles, they couldn't handle it anymore. They couldn't deal with it. And so they raised up, they prayed for and had these people raised up from within the congregation whose specific job was to take care of the community's needs. The deacons. Their job wasn't to look after the people within. Their job was to look after everybody, right? Not just the people that sit in the pews. They didn't have pews at the time, but not just the people who would claim to be believers, but the people of the community around. See, the people outside of the church, when they realized that the church organization was taking care of its members, they came to the church asking for help as well. And the church, being lovely and kind and wonderful and charitable and giving and sensitive to the needs of everybody, they provided for that help. And as other groups saw that these other groups were being helped by that community, they too came. When the world sees us present to this group or that group, the world will begin to believe again that we could be present to them. The church is not supposed to be a group of people that gather on a Sunday morning, and the church is not supposed to be just a bunch of people who claim Jesus as Lord and offer their best Ouija prayers. We're supposed to be a people that others turn to in times of crisis. And I don't mean just spiritual crisis. I mean in times of despair, in times of torment, in times of crises, in times of suffering, in times of of whatever problem it may be, fear and anxiety and stress. We're supposed to be a community of people that the world believes they are safe in turning to. So, Allison, we will be praying. We will be praying. May those who are unable to do so know that others are supporting them. So, Allison, we will pray as you ask for all the LGBTQ plus who are celebrating Pride. May those who are unable, Allison continues, may those who are unable to do so, know that others are supporting them, and may we see acceptance become the norm. And may we be seen as a community, a people of faith who are willing to stand up for others, willing to stand beside others. We may not be able to stop the tide, but we can be present. Amen.